What's up, everybody? I'm Soren Baker, and today for Best Albums, we're joined by Slink Johnson. Thanks for coming through, Slink.
What's poppin', Soren? What's going on?
Man, we're here. We're here talking about best albums, and I know that one of your best and favorite classic albums is Mr. Scarface Is Back.
Definitely.
Scarface. So, Slink, why is this album one of your best albums?
Man, Mr. Scarface Is Back came at an important time in my life, man. I was a young dude going through a lot of stuff. I was actually in CYA at the time when the album came out, man. And,
guilty or not guilty, Slink?
No
comment?
No contest. No contest. It was a dope album, man. I was already in love with the Geto Boys at that time because, they spoke on a level, they were political and gangster and street. All in one. And I really loved the Geto Boys. But I took a real liking to Scarface, man, because the way Scarface articulated his words, man, especially coming out of Houston. I'm originally from Arkansas, so I know what country sound like. And for lack of better words, Face didn't sound country. And not that country was bad, but that just intrigued me. But that because it opened up it opened up Houston as a whole world to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? H-Town is a wonderful place, man, and that the whole Geto Boys and Scarface movement attracted me to that, man. Like it just taught me that there was gangster shit going on everywhere.
And speaking of that, man, this came out during an era where we saw the album covers before we heard the album.
Yes.
And on the album cover, man, he had B-Luv on there. He had the guns drawn, Willie D,
shotguns.
Man,
it was amazing, man. It was amazing. I was 18 years old, man, and just the allure of the gangsterism. You know what I'm saying? I won't lie. A lot of young men in our society are captured by the allure of the gangsterism. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so amazing to see some brothers on that high level, fighting over dope. You know what I'm saying? You got Gats, you got Bushwick there looking crazy as fuck. You got Will coming over, you know what I'm saying? And it was like brotherhood. The Geto Boys was them niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And again, I took a liking to Scarface and his style because he was so deep. Scarface is like the ultimate storyteller. You know what I'm saying? And it's
speaking of that, right on the top of the album, you got Mr. Scarface kicking it off, and with this little
Mr. Scarface from walking down the block. You know what I'm talking about? And that amazed me, man. It was just the way this guy came in flipping these nursery rhymes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Into some serious gangster shit. One thing about Face is on this gangster shit.
Right.
Like there are levels to this gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? You got guys who think they gangsters, but they actually street punks. You know what I'm saying? You out here jacking people, you know what I'm saying, breaking in cars and shit. That ain't gangster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you start moving up levels, and it was just like his Face was just on a level of gangsterism, he dealing with Colombians and shit. And you know what I'm saying? And it became a trend later on. A whole lot of rappers began to take on this to the foreign drug trade, take on names and monikers and shit, myself included, you know what I'm saying? But the way Scarface just opened it all up for me, you know what I'm saying, was just amazing. And he set a mark on me that I never,
And then also later in the album, he had so many powerful songs, and one of them was "Good Girl Gone Bad." So Slink, what resonated with you about that song?
The game is cold, man. The game is cold, man. Hey, man. Good girls go bad. You just gotta listen to it. If the only way you shouldn't have heard Mr. Scarface Is Back is this album if you are a youngster.
And if you are, you should go check it out.
Go check out Mr.
Slink Johnson is a big fan.
Man, Mr. Scarface Is Back was an amazing album. It set the tone for Face's solo career in my eyes. Again, it just put him on a level so high, man. A lot of rappers could not at all.
Then I think too we see. Obviously, he had done a great job with the Geto Boys up to this point, but then when we get to a song like "A Minute to Pray, Second to Die," he's got the soulfulness on there, but it's like dealing with the streets in a way that hadn't really been covered yet.
And that video was so dope, man. Just him standing there, he's spitting it to his homies. He's telling the story around a fucking fire or some shit. And I just felt like I was right there, man. And this dude was just so, at the time, like, Face is only like a couple years older than me. But at the time, he had, that was real grandfather game he was spitting.
Right.
And that just really attracted me, man. This was real grandfather game, real life game, you know, he spit from a young age, you know.
And then, of course, one of the other standout cuts is Born Killer.
Yeah.
And that one, you know, we see the aggressiveness.
Man, the aggressiveness. Man, the track was so aggressive and so fast, and it was just going so, I mean, on some gangster shit, though, still just a high, intense track. But Face's lyrical dexterity is just something that's unmatched. You know what I'm saying? The guy, he just nimble with his words, you know, and his tone, the way his deep grave tone and his dexterity with his words is like unheard of for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
And I think he brought a new dimension to gangster rap because he had the introspectiveness, dealing with some of the mental things, and the really wrestling with the good and the bad and the evil and different things going on. And I think this album really showcased that.
Yeah, it definitely showcased that, because it wasn't all gung ho, all nuts and bullets. You know, he actually he is a very introspective rapper. That's one thing that always attracted me to his music, is the fact that he showed his vulnerability. He didn't really want to do this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like in a Good Girl Gone Bad, a guy, you know, he had to kill a nigga, but he took care of his son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's some cold shit, man. Like, you know, the game is cold. I'm not gonna make your son pay for what you did, but you gonna pay, nigga. But because I did that, because you had to pay, you know, this is what I gotta do. You know, now his son's calling me daddy. That's the definition of a Good Girl Gone Bad. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's a real deep album.
And looking back now, coming up, that it's been decades now since the album has come back. When you think back to that album, what is the legacy of Mr. Scarface Is Back?
The legacy of Mr. Scarface Is Back has to be the lyrical dexterity and intelligence of gangsterism. It wasn't just gun hoes. I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
You know, Face came and broke being a killer down on a human level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He humanized the killer on wax. You know what I mean? And you know, again, Face is actually, he's one of the best. You know, very, very underrated. I'm very sad to see that Face doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? However, you know, at the same time, the selfish me feel, you know, like I know something you don't.
Right. Well, not me. Not me.
Well, not you, because this dude here, Soren Baker, you are a deceptively soulful rap expert.
Well, thank you, Slink. I appreciate that.
I don't want anybody to ever get it twisted about this dude. If you don't know this dude, Soren Baker, you don't know hip hop.
Well, thank you, Slink. And on that, we're going to wrap up another episode of Best Albums. Slink Johnson, Mr. Scarface Is Back, 1991, taking it all the way back. Mr. Scarface, one of the greatest of all time, Slink.
Most definitely.
Appreciate it.
Face, smoke yours. Appreciate you too, Soren.
Likewise.